Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are here at Clash Endurance Miami. Our next guest, two-time Olympian, Mr. Aaron Royle, who just came away with a huge paycheck from the couples triathlon. How fun was that?
Thanks, Bob. It was awesome. It was great fun. I mean, to my fiance, Non Stanford, she's British.
Yes.
So the funny thing about that is the only time we've actually competed in the same race with now the mixed relay, being an Olympic event and part of the ITU series, is actually when we've competed against each other. Her for Great Britain, me for Australia.
Yes.
So now this was the first time that we've actually been able to compete together as a team, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously a handy payday to go with it.
100K plus 10K appearance.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
I mean, that does that compare with the biggest money you've ever won in a race?
Yeah, for sure. I think I said it at the time that what Waterfall Bank did was absolutely amazing. You know, these opportunities don't come around very often.
Right.
Prior to some of these PTO races coming up now this year that have got $100,000 prize purse, you're talking really only Kona normally is
Right.
the races where you'd get that sort of prize money. So yeah, we feel super fortunate. We're due to get married in November this year,
Yes.
coming up, so about 6 months' time, or 7-8 months' time. And so Non has said that I can't say no to any of her wedding requests now. Now that we've got a bit more money to
You
spend
got more
on
money to spend. And where will you guys get married?
it. In the UK.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, I don't, she gets to choose on that.
She insisted on that.
I don't blame her. So, and you also this year, you did Super League. Fun?
Oh yeah, so I've been doing Super League since it first started in 2017. I didn't have the best showing last year. I was struggling a little bit with Achilles injuries. You know, I'm getting a bit older now, Bob. I'm
No.
32. So
32.
yeah. So I was struggling a little bit with a few injuries and just couldn't get the body going. But no, I love Super League. It's awesome. I think people love to see that short, sharp racing that's sort of coming in with Super League.
Great television.
Oh yeah.
They do really, really good television.
Yeah.
So, 2 Olympic experiences. What'd you think?
Rio was far better than Tokyo.
Okay.
Personally, from my own result, and also just within Olympic Games during the pandemic. I mean, like everyone says, they did an amazing job to get in the Games in the current situation that we're in. But it was, you know, there was no crowds.
Right.
We're kind of within a lockdown sort of place. So that side of things was a little bit.
It takes away from it.
It takes away from it for sure. And my role at the the Tokyo Olympics was more of a team role.
Okay.
Jake Birtwistle, who was one of a medal chance. We tried to support or put a team around to support him. And, you know, unfortunately, we missed the mark as a nation. And, you know, I think as disappointing as it was, we were the most disappointed with how it went. And I think, you know, Australia had a different tactic in terms of how we dealt with COVID.
Right.
And a lot of the athletes, the Australian athletes, the Olympics was the first international race since September 2019, and we're talking it was July 2021. So it's a big step to jump straight back into it, and I just think that you know that's just sort of some things that we kind of got wrong in Tokyo, but Rio, yeah, I mean, look, at the time I was a little bit disappointed with ninth. But as I've got a little bit older, I can look back at that now and go, you know what, I came ninth at the
Olympic Games.
You know,
there's nothing better than
yeah,
that.
exactly. So yeah, they've been 2 career highlights for sure.
So now transitioning to longer distance. How tough has this been?
Well, it's tough, but to be honest, I really enjoyed the challenge. You know, I still feel like a novice with it.
Yeah.
You know, I've done 3 70.3s, 2 of them in recent years, where one was in Australia during lockdown on the Sunshine Coast, which I was able to win. And then Portugal 70.3 last year, where me and myself and Magnus Ditlev went head-to-head, and he got me by about 30, 40 seconds in the end. But you know, like leading into them, I get super, super excited, like something that I haven't felt in short course racing for a while. Just you know, going through my mind of everything that I have to think about during these races. There's a lot more to think about rather than in ITU racing, you don't want to think. It's just head down and go.
Right.
Whereas in the longer course races, you've got a lot more time to think and analyse and prepare for how you're going to actually approach the race. And I'm still trying to nail it, but I've really enjoyed it.
How has the ITU racing changed over the last, because you've been involved with ITU for a long time?
Yeah, I think I guess the depth, just like even in these longer course races, you know, the depth, and where maybe, dare I say, 10 years ago, you could find a weaker, maybe a longer course race somewhere, and also in the ITU, you could have found an easier race somewhere where some people didn't want to go to. You can't find that anymore.
Right.
And yeah, you just really can't have a weakness. And yeah, as you'd expect, it's just every year it's getting stronger and stronger and more diverse. You know, obviously the Norwegians now are really, well, they're dominating triathlon as a whole. They're dominating short course and long course races as well. So yeah, I think it keeps evolving, but it's only good for the sport.
It's always good for the sport when you get more and more talent coming in, and having guys like yourself and Gustav and Christian moving in to the longer distance is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun if I can try and emulate some of the stuff that they've done successfully along their transition. That would be, I could be pretty happy with that.
So I read something. So you were swimming and you wanted to run, and parents were like, "You got to choose one or the other," and you're like, "Well, I'll choose triathlon."
Yeah. So I grew up, as many kids in Australia do, swimming.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. And that's very time consuming, especially for at a young age. Like coaches really push you really hard.
Yeah. A lot of mileage, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was also trying to run at a state and national level in Australia, and it got a little bit too much. I was still at school, obviously, at the time as well, and mum and dad were running me to swimming, to running, then I was still trying to do team sports like soccer, like kids do. They sat me down when I was about 14 and said, you know, you're doing too much. You need to sort of choose. And I said, well, can I add in a bike and do triathlon? And I think they pulled their hair out a little bit at the start, but I think it was a good decision.
That's very cool. And 2012 under 23 world champ, then bronze at ITU WTS Auckland. I mean, you were climbing. And when did you, was the goal right from then, 2016 Rio? That's it.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was probably just off that London team in 2012.
Yep.
But always in my mind, I was targeting that 2016
was
relay. So I kind of went through obviously the under 23 circuit and won that in 2012 and picked up a few podiums. And I think the last WTS race we did leading into Rio Olympics, I was third behind Alistair and Jonathan, who ended up winning the Olympics. So that gave me a lot of confidence. But yeah, like that's from a young age. Even when I was a swimmer, when I started to think. I was 26 in Rio. I'm like, well, that's the peak age, even from when I was 10 years old, like 16 years prior to the actual Rio Olympic Games. You're already starting to think about that sort of thing.
I think one of the greatest additions to our sport has been the mixed relay. I don't think there's anything that's more fun. When that came about, and was it something that you liked right away? Oh, yeah.
I've been part of the Australian team since, I think, 2010.
Oh, yeah.
Before it was a World Championships, and then it became a World Championships, and then they got it into an Olympic event. And so I've seen the progression along the way. And it started as a secondary thing. You know, you did your individual race on the Saturday, and then you'd go and do the relay because it's fun, but no one really cared too much about the result. You would have a bit of fun with the other country mates, and then it obviously now it's an Olympic event. It's a whole, people are now focusing on that, and you'll see in the years to come, athletes that are, you've got your Ironman specialist, your 70.3 specialist, your short course specialist, and now you're going to have your super sprint specialists in the years to come that are just targeting that event as well. So it's like we say, I think any sort of progression in the sport's great for everyone. But I think every athlete really enjoys that mixed relay.
Well, and this is Olympic athletes and 70.3 athletes and Ironman athletes. That's a cool mix as well. Mm-hmm. And do you see the rest of the season, will you be doing more and more 70.3-ish type of stuff?
So firstly, I think this distance that we've got this weekend is probably, I think it sort of sits right in the middle,
It does.
It sits right in the middle between the Olympic distance and the middle distance. I think Jan won it in around about 2:40 last year, so that is really right in the middle of those two distances. So I think it's at a good balance to sort of see where you're at. For me personally, against these guys, I've done it, like I said, done a few 70.3 races, but never this side of the pond in the US, and the guys against Sam Long and I've raced Ben Canute in short course racing a lot, but never in long course racing. I'm super excited just to get out there and test myself against these guys. And the plan for the year, I'll definitely do some more 70.3 racing. There will be a period where I'll do some short course racing as well, but 70.3 Worlds, and which I qualified last year in Portugal, and also some of these PTO races are my main,
That's your main
main targets for the year.
Is Paris still in the back of your mind?
Oh yeah. That's still lingering away in the back of my mind. Oh,
There's a little unfinished business
yeah,
there.
3 Olympics could be.
You want to get yourself on a podium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're gonna go.
Yeah. You don't want to mess about. Yeah.
I know. You want a medal. You want something
exactly.
you got to put in a case at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Aaron, always a pleasure. Congrats on that huge payday. You're playing with house money now.
Yeah, I know.
You guys won last week. You can do whatever the heck you want tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure. Congratulations, Aaron.
Thanks, Bob.
Pleasure. Aaron Royle has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob, and we're at wonderful Clash Endurance Miami. Hold on. We will be right back.